Exploring Union Alternatives, a new path for worker representation. For over a century, unions have been the cornerstone of worker advocacy, fighting for better wages, benefits, and conditions. But, as many workers have experienced, traditional unions are not always the solution. Corruption, bureaucracy, and a lack of accountability have left many asking, is there a better way? Today, we'll explore alternatives to traditional unions, innovative approaches to worker representation that could reshape the future of labor. Part 1. The problem with traditional unions. While unions have played a vital role in labor history, their shortcomings are hard to ignore: corruption and compromise. Leadership too often prioritizes self-interest over workers. Lack of oversight. Without accountability, unions can become stagnant or ineffective. Exclusivity. Many workers, especially freelancers, gig workers, and independent contractors, are excluded from traditional union protections. These issues aren't just isolated incidents, they're systemic. It's time to consider alternatives. Part 2. Innovative alternatives to unions. There's no one-size-fits-all solution, but there are many promising alternatives. 1. Freelancers. Union, designed for independent workers, this organization provides access to benefits, advocacy, and resources tailored to freelancers. Why it matters. Gig workers and freelancers, often excluded from unions, can find a community and support system here. 2. Worker cooperatives. Businesses owned and operated by workers, where decisions are made democratically and profits are shared equally. Example: Mondragon Corporation, one of the world's largest worker cooperatives. 3. Worker centers, community-based organizations that advocate for low-wage and immigrant workers, often outside the traditional union structure. Example: the Coalition of Immokalee Workers successfully improved farm workers' conditions in Florida. 4. Solidarity networks, grassroots collectives that provide mutual aid and support, empowering workers to take direct action. 5. Platform cooperatives, digital platforms owned and governed by their workers or users, offering an ethical alternative to gig economy giants. Part 3. Why alternatives matter. These alternatives offer solutions to many of the problems traditional unions fail to address. Transparency. Cooperatives and platform models emphasize democratic governance. Inclusion. Freelancers and gig workers gain access to representation and benefits. Accountability. Grassroots and community-based models reduce the risk of corruption. By diversifying the ways workers organize, we can create systems that are more adaptable, inclusive, and effective. Part 4. Addressing the challenges. Of course, no system is without its drawbacks. Lack of recognition. Many alternatives lack the legal status and bargaining power of unions. Scalability. Some models, like cooperatives, work best on a smaller scale. Funding. Without traditional dues, alternatives must find creative ways to sustain themselves. But these challenges can be overcome with awareness, support, and innovation. Part 5. A call to action. It's time to rethink worker representation. Whether through cooperatives, advocacy groups, or platforms, alternatives to unions are not just viable, they're essential. To workers everywhere, explore these options, advocate for change, and demand better representation. Together, we can create a system that truly serves the people it was meant to protect. In closing, unions were built to empower workers. But when they fail, It's up to us to find new ways forward. The future of labor doesn't have to look like the past. By embracing innovation and advocating for alternatives, we can build a better, fairer system for everyone. The time for change is now. Let's make it happen.